American Railway signals him. All right. Positions of equal or equivalent non-automatic, semi-automatic, stick or non-stick automatic special requirements. Reference to notes. You have your 0 degrees, your U quarter. You got your non-automatic, automatic. Your sticks. These are cut at the top at a 45-degree angle. Here you see with the tallies at the top on the ends of the 45-degree angle with a stick. It's a non-automatic. A semi-automatic stick has no sticks at the end, but is a fillet filled in. And the non-stick has no fillet. And the automatic 0 degrees, 45-degree quarters is automatic. And special requirements versus the non-automatic, which has sticks on it. The special reference to notes has an X or a double fillet cross on the automatic 0 degrees U quarter. The 0 degrees left quadrant at 45-degree angles goes down with double fillets, which is a non-automatic. Semi-automatic is no tallies at the end of it with a filled-in fillet. A non-stick semi-automatic is a empty fillet with the automatic 0 degrees left lower quadrant 45-degree angle is automatic if you see the 45-degree angle on the stick. A special reference to notes is into a 45-degree angle with a split on the bottom of it. Alright, your positions are equivalent of the 0 to the upper quadrant 90-degree angle. You see the non-automatic with the tallies on the top, the semi-automatic stick with the fillet at the 45-degree angle is no tallies, the non-stick with the non-fillet, the automatic stick with a 45-degree angle, no tallies on it, and the special requirements to note is in the 0 degrees 40 upper quadrant north 90 degrees. You'll see kind of what looks like a drainage fillet filled in. Alright, positions are equivalent of an upper quadrant 45 and a lower quadrant 45. You see the upper quadrant at 45 with the tally and the lower quadrant 45 with the tally at the end. That's a non-automatic. A semi-automatic is the upper quadrant lower 45 and lower quadrant 45 with the fillet. The non-stick has the upper quadrant and lower quadrant both at 45s with the fillet not filled in. The automatic has a 45 upper quadrant, lower quadrant 45. Special reference to notes is into the upper quadrant 45 or the lower quadrant 45 with an X across it. Fillet. The upper quadrant 45 and with a 90-degree angle. You see the fillet at 90-degree angle with the upper quadrant 45-degree angle with the tallies at the end. It means it's not automatic. The upper quadrant 45 90-degree angle with the 90-degree angle with the 45-degree upper quadrant with the fillet is a semi-stick automatic. Non-stick automatic fillet with no fill-in. Upper 90-degree angle, 45-degree angle, 90-degree angle, 45-degree angle, no tallies, not automatic. Special requirements notes a upper 90-degree 45 and a 45 with an X across it. Special reference to notes. Alright, the lower quadrant 45 and the upper quadrant 90. All you see is the upper quadrant 90s all the way straight up on all the top ones, and the lower quadrant and 45 on all the bottoms. Like again, once I said, all the non-automatics have a tally at the end of it. The semi-automatic stick has a fillet in between it. Your between your quadrant angle. The non-stick has an empty fillet from the lower quadrant 45 90-degree angle. The automatic has a no tally, no fillet. Upper quadrant 45, upper quadrant 90. Special requirements note, same as the automatic, but with a cross across it. The 0-degree, 45-degree angle, lower quadrant 45-degree angle. You see what looks like to be two 45-degree angles on the inside, which we have a tally, a middle tally, and a semi-tally. So you have tallies at the non-automatic, a fillet in between all three of this sticks. Non-automatic stick has no fillets in between the 45 and the lower quadrant 45. The automatic is split into two a 45-degree quadrant at the top and a lower quadrant at 45, with the lower upper quadrant 45 and the lower quadrant 45 with a cross across it. Alright, your upper quadrant 45 and your 90, you see a 90-degree angle on the right side upper quadrant split in half, with tallies on it. Then the ones without the tallies and the fillets in between both angles is a semi-automatic stick, no fillet filled in. Between the angles is a non-stick automatic, has no tallies or fillet. The special requirements for reference actually is the same as an automatic with a cross across it. The 0-degree upper quadrant 90-degree angle and the lower quadrant 45-degree angle show a 90-degree at the top and then a 45-degree angle split at the bottom with tallies on the end. And once again, in between these angles is a fillet filled in, which is a stick, semi-automatic stick. A non-stick is a fillet with no fillet and fill in. The automatic has a top 90-degree and a lower quadrant of 45, and the special reference to notes has the X across it, same as the same as the automatic. Upper quadrant 45 90-degree angle, lower quadrant 45-degree angle. You see the upper quadrant started at a 45-degree angle with tallies between with a 90-degree lower quadrant 45-degree angle. That's a non-automatic with the sticks on it. A stick has no sticks. A semi-automatic stick has no tallies at the end, but is a fillet in both angles. The non-stick has no fillets. Automatic has no tallies, no fillets, but the special reference to notes has an X across it. The 0 quadrant, 45-degree angle, 90 left quadrant, you see for 90 degree, a split in between the 90-degree quadrant and the lower quadrant of 45. All tallies on all four of the angle marks, and fillet in between all angles. From upper quadrant 45, 90-degree, lower quadrant 45, and then you see their non-stick, semi-automatic without the fillet, and then no tallies, no fillet, automatic. Special requirements reference to notes as the same as the automatic, but with a cross on it. The explanatory data: the three position semi-automatic stick 45-degree to 98-degree semi-automatic 9-degree to the upper quadrant 45-degree to 4-position and semi-automatic stick 0% to 45-degree to 90% non-auto to 0 to percentage to lower quadrant 45. Non-operating is the 90-degree one tally to the 90-degree angle or upper quadrant 45 or lower quadrant 45. Stick only. That means it's not operating. Normally markers lighted are non-stick. If they are if you see a black dot, it's normally lighted in non-stick. Empty shot hole is normally not lighted non-stick. Filled in hole with a line across it is normally lighted stick. A shot hole with a line across it normally lighted stick. And a grade is a G signal. G inside a circle is a grade signal. Heavy indicates normal position or its equivalent, thus the prefix of letter abbreviation. If approaching the light, abbreviation should be used only where and more than one type of the signal is shown. The smashboard signals show that if it's a upper half semicircle, it's power. If it's vertical or a horizontal fillet upper quadrant, it's a mechanical. The abbreviations for E is electric sophomore, P position light, CP color position light, M mechanical, C color light, and SL searchlight. These graphic signals were wayside signal operation characteristics. Here's a ground mass. It's basically like your hangman, but with lines off of it. The ground mass with the bracket attached to it shows a 90-degree angle with a fillet. That's a bracket. The single bridge is a straight line cross with both a ground mass. Kind of a ground mast, a cantilever pulse. I guess that it's like a ground mast sticking out into the rail. Notice the dotted lines on the ground mass is the away line, the farthest running away from the running rail. The ground mass with the bracket attaches with the running rail. The single bridge has two straight lines. A cantilever post, as in these two observations, runs with the dotted line and with the across the dotted line to the other side. The bracket post is more like a field goal with two double statted posts. Railroad track, signifying steam or electric where electric tracks cross or joint seam trains. Railroad track to remain is double bolded line. A red is the track to be taken up, double dotted lines. Yellow, purpose track. Yellow double dotted line, purpose future tracks, foreign tracks to be indicated by name or symbol or both. Note where the other colors are explained, explanations colors is shown on the plan. A grade crossing signal has a G or U or G and an O and a G. These show the grade crossing with a double set of two perpendicular lines crossing at an angle. An ungraded has a UG stated with a dotted center and in between the horizontal parallel lines. Same thing with the overgrading crossing, but except for OG. Traffic direction is an arrow through the dotted lines. It explains its foul street name, highway name, number, frame, private crossing at other indications, highway crossing signals. Meridian is north to the north signal. Here's a cross signal, a bell, wigwag, front lights only, front and back lights, flashing lights. Once again, that's front lights only with the down and front and back lights with the top and the back. Number of tracks mounted on single mast. Number of the tracks to be shown on the plan are covered by note C1631. FY means flashing light. NL means no left turn. NRT means no right turn. Number of track signals mounted on a single mast. You see an upside down cursive T, a triangle with a flashing yellow and a no left turn on the right hand side of a post. Stop of the red and stop on red signal has an SRS, which means stop on red signal. Stop well swinging sign SWS. Instead of SRS, which is stop on red signal. Crossing gate with sidewalk arm to the left. You see the box, the larger triangle. Crossing gate without sidewalk arm has only one triangle on the box. The gate arm walk is a smaller but smaller triangle gate arm sidewalk. A gate arm with lamps is one with is a gate arm with circles on it. Rotating disc is a stop sign. Illuminated stop sign is spelled stop down the center. Highway crossing signals indicating basic characteristics combine additional symbols. These basic symbols may also conjunction other graphical symbols. Letters should be included with the symbols adjacent thereto indicating characteristics such as automatic manual or automatic auto manual. These are graphing signals of traffic highway crossings. For the passenger buildings are marked in PS, FS, GS, and SS. The passenger station is a PS. A freight train station is an FS. A generation station, GS, and a substation. Interlocking or block stations with parallel rails operating facing the track shows the line and the period line closest to towards the track, and the period operating with the back to the track is a period with the front away from the track. A coal station comes in CS. Trestles are basically like three little parallel boxes with fillets off the end of it. A girder is a bridge, is a square with two fillets off of it and a flat strace. Trestles have cross in the status of a girdle. They state whether the deck has half a true thorough bridge. A lifespan is basic double leaf, a basic single leaf, and a movable span. Movable bridge devices. Rail lock is a square with a center with a perpendicular with a line down it. A lock shows two squares with a kind of cut out with a fillet on it, and a pipe coupler shows 5 parallel lines with over a triangle with over a rectangle with a triangle with a less hanger on it. A circuit Tron track shows a direction arrow inside the box. Tunnel is basically two has cutout lines in between two tunnel lines. A milepost is a diamond with a 15 on it with parable signs. Say it's 15. A mail crane shows a line with a basically a little pill, like a fuse in it. A dragging equipment detector shows a a line of tracks which has two half circle filled in dots on a line facing both inward directions on inside and outside of both rails. A water tank is an oval with a WT. The water column, oil or gas circle, let the circle designate the kind of column, is basically in a water column, an oval with a branch out with left with the column. The track pan shows Humpback Mountains is a track pan, otherwise like a current range, but that's not the same. Housing, the note, above surface, half above surface, below surface, instrument housing. The T is for telephone, I is for instrument box, J is for junction box, M is for manhole, L is for lighting a resistor, R is for relay box, B divided by 4 is a battery box and capacity. The indicator is a double-lined C note. See the note A. Note A uses the S to take the leaving of the siding. DE dragging equipment. A train indicator light is a A train indicator is basically indicator with a triangle or T inside the box with a train. That's a train indicator. A switch indicator. See the note B. Type note indicates covered by the letter of E, W, N, or S, indicating the track's control signal indicator. Switch indicator has an E in it. See the note B, or an N in it, or a W or an N and S. The N has a cross through it. A cable post is a straight arrow with one indicator as an oval, with two indicators, two ovals, with a relay box, a square, with a relay box and one indicator, a box, and under a square box, and then under an oval. A relay with both two indicators is two double ovals. A pole line shows basically a circle and split in half without it. In a 45-degree angle going across the tracks at both sides parallel, mirrored on the top and the bottom. Ground levelers are a box with two levels in it. A dwarfing machine is a box with lines going parallel outside and through the box. A relay box and post has a box with two in it, and a battery chute relay box must be combined with a 2 and 3 capacity. The legend as required in the space of the roadway signals, graphic symbols, wayside fixtures. Alright, one, we're going to go over the explanations. One, a single switch over here on the corner. Two, a crossover is right here. Here's one, a single switch. You see, this is the same as that one, but this one's a double line plan, and this one's a single line plan. The double line has the fillets filled in between the parallel, in between and out of the boxes. The other ones is just tallied on the mark of the side. One is a single switch crossover. Two is a one is a single switch. Two is a crossover. You see 1 and 2, there's two parallels there instead of one single switch. 3 goes off to a single point derail, so it comes down the running rail. 4, in between the this set of double line tracks, you see a single slip and a double slip switch. In between two parallels, where the running rail side is split by a curvature rail into the other double line dimensions. This covers 4 the single slip switch, and 5 the double slip switch, which means it can back up or pull out into double lines. 5 is a double slip switch. 6 is in here. 6 is a movable point crossing frog. 7 is a single slip switch with movable point crossing frog. 8 is a double slip switch with movable point crossing frog. You see the frogs in between here. They have single and double, meaning we have 4 lines of rails, and instead of 3 line would have be a single switch multiple point crossing frog. Means these have multiple point crossings. With there's a kind of like the double switch has a double frog, kind of like a splitting rail switch. We're on not 10. 10 over here is 10 a lifting block derail, so it's off this cutout space slice of a running rail turnout. 11 lifting rail derailer. 12 dual control switch. Same mark, single line down here, single switch, crossover. 3 signal point relay. 4 slip switch. 5 double slip switch. 6 movable point crossing frog. 7 single switch multiple point crossing frog. 8 double switch multiple cross pointing frog. 9 is a rigid crossing frog. 10 is a lifting block derailer. 11 is a lifting rail derailer. 12 is a dual control switch. If you see the fillet, it's set for the turnout, a single switch set for the straight track. If you see the one, if it's highlighted in the center of the track, and the triangle stays in, that's the long waist is set for straight track. If the long waist is set for the turnout. Set for the turnout to the left, set for the straight track ahead, and the 3-way switch set for the right track. So you see it either go to the right or the left straight, or is hugging the running rail. Note that above the signal is interlocked with switch, anti-interlocked to be shown and above, except for the shading triangles where hand-thrown switches are pipe connected to others. At least one that one of the farthest from the point of operation should be the letters be PC placed beside it. Alright, let me pause this.